Finally, the return of college football. What a Saturday night, just not for little Savannah State. As Oklahoma State, the Cowboys, well, number 19 rumbles past the Little Tigers, 84-0 in Boone-Pickens Stadium. Meanwhile, number 4 Oklahoma struggles mightily down on the border in El Paso, beating the Miners 24-7, a win nonetheless. Welcome to the season premiere of The Quest. I'm your host, Damon Fontenot. It's the first episode of the second season of the show that counts down the top 4 plays of the week, as voted by you, the viewers. Enough numbers for you? How about 3 more? 811, that's the number you need to remember to call before you dig. Quest is once again sponsored by Call Okie. But enough with the formalities, let's begin our journey towards the week's top play. Coming in at number 4 by a large margin, it's a play called Just in Bounds. This play took place late in the third quarter as Landry Jones found Penn State transfer Justin Brown on the boundary. 6'3" senior fully extends and makes the outstanding grab while keeping his toes on the ground. Or did he? The refs are giving mixed messages, and upon further review, this play probably was called out, but it's the effort that counts, people. Brown did have 4 catches that were ruled valid as he accumulated 32 receiving yards in his Sooner premiere down in the dark of El Paso. Anyway, let's quickly move on. You didn't like that play. Let's move on to the play you found third most intriguing. It's happened up in Stillwater in a game that was anything but intriguing. The Savannah State Tigers turned out to be kittens. The Cowboys pistol whipped them anyway. In at number 3 is Roland. Mystery was long gone by the time this play took place at Boone-Pickens Stadium Saturday night. OSU held a slim 56-point lead with almost 12 minutes still remaining in the third when 6'2" sophomore Desmond Roland ran straight up the middle, veered left, and raced 42 yards to a familiar place. It was Roland's 3rd touchdown of the game as Desmond racked up 104 yards on only 9 runs. Of course, Roland's still going to have to wait in line for playing time. Joseph Randall ran for 107 yards on only 6 carries, and Jeremy Smith ran the ball only 5 times, yet he scored on 3 of them. So we reached the upper echelon of our quest. Only the top 2 plays remain, and one from the Sooners and one from the Cowboys, as is usually the case. And in a somewhat surprising result, it wasn't even close. The Sooners settle for second this week, as at number 2 for the week is a play we call Landry, Let's Fly. I have done my due diligence to confirm that this play did indeed count and was called inbounds by all parties involved. Who'da thunk it? The Sooners were trailing the Miners of El Paso 7-0 with a bit over 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter on Saturday night. The long scrutinized duo of Landry Jones and Kenny Stills connected for the equalizer. Senior quarterback stayed patient in the pocket, bought time for Kenny Stills to get wide open. Landry lofted the pass across the field and found a styling slot receiver for the 68-yard touchdown pass. It was the first of 24.
Not at all.
Points.
Not at all. I mean, personally, no. As a team, no. I felt like, like I said, it's the first game of the season. We've been working for, 9 months or however long we've been working to play, 12, 14 games. So we knew what we were getting into, and I felt like they just matched us, and they played well.
Kenny saying, not at all, the Sooners didn't come out flat. They just played a decent team down there. Stills caught 6 passes for 121 yards. Landry Jones, 21 of 36 for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. So we finally reached the treasure of our quest, the number 1 play, numero uno, as I like to say, sponsored by Call Okie. Remember, you need to call before you dig, otherwise you may not like the consequences. So here it is, number 1, as voted on by you. It was a landslide. With almost 50% of the vote, play I call Wonderful Wes. Well, what can you say about Wes Lunt? The 18-year-old is the first freshman to start a season opener for the Cowboys in at least 60 years. And now, you know why. Not that you can judge much from the massacre that took place on Saturday. In less than 1 full quarter, the 6'4" Frosh did throw for 129 yards. The only thing he failed to do was throw an incompletion. Well, he also had no touchdowns, but Lunt became the first quarterback in OSU history to throw a perfect game with at least 10 passing attempts. Lunt completed all 11 of his attempts, the longest being a 42-yard pass to Isaiah Anderson. J.W. Wallace played the majority. as OSU piled up 682 yards in total offense. Will this game go to West Lund's head? Let's ask Isaiah Anderson.
I feel like he's a pretty composed young man. He's not he doesn't seem like he get too big-headed about just stats. He knows that he didn't get to play a lot, so we didn't really get to see him to the full extent. And he knows next week he's going to have to play a lot more and have to throw a lot more passes than 11. So he just has to be ready to go in there and perform well.
That's what Isaiah had to say. If you have anything to say, any questions you want to send us, any comments, of course, there's @NewsOK Sports Twitter and NewsOK Sports Facebook page. And also, remember Twitter @the_Quest. Send your tweets, questions, comments, whatever. So that's a wrap for week 1 of The Quest, sponsored by Call-Okie. Remember to vote for your favorite play every Monday through Wednesday. Then come back right here. Check out the show every Thursday right here on NewsOK. Let's see what's coming up this week. As another couple of games, Oklahoma will play at home, finally opening in Norman. Florida A&M comes to town. They're not good either. 6 p.m. on Saturday, Owen Field. OU should finally roll in the game. And number 18 OSU, they moved up one. They're heading to Arizona. Well, who's seen the Wildcats? Well, 3 times in 2 years. 9:30 p.m. at Arizona Stadium in Tucson. It should be a decent game out in the desert. That's going to do it. See you next week.